This file is made for the purpose of experiencing power exchange, consensual non-consent, and brainwashing. If any or all of those elements concern or do not interest you, please reconsider listening to the following file. Because if it doesn't, right about now would typically be the time that I welcome you to another file, bidding you well and to start to get relaxed and comfortable, ready to listen to my voice at your leisure. I do bid you well and hope you are or starting to get relaxed and comfortable. But listening to my voice at your leisure, I find that a curious point right now. Because what if I wanted you to begin to listen to me at my leisure? What if I decided to indulge in my domino whims and found a mind to play with for my pleasure? And what if I wanted and found your mind to play with, leading to your inevitable, irresistible pleasure? Within the bounds of consensual non-consent, agreeing to the bounds I set for you, do you find yourself feeling engaged, intrigued, excited, anticipating an alluring loss of control without having any say in the matter? Dare I say how fun that must sound, to feel, maybe to envision in your imagination. Maybe you imagine it as being collared, attached to a chain in my hands, gently, gingerly pulling you along in my direction. Or maybe you'd find it to be more like having your surroundings soften, becoming indescribable, like a hazy corridor, made hazy by the sound of my voice that enchants, leaving you spellbound and wanting to follow, floating in between the bounds of this hazy corridor, along the clear path my voice creates for you. No matter how you imagine it, you follow me. You follow because I want you to follow. And you follow because you know I want you to follow. And that just makes you want to follow me. I really love power exchanges like this. These playful moments where we make mutually beneficial trades I set. I give you my compelling words, my persuasive perspective, my hypnotic intonation. And in return, you give me your power, your control, your mind, your semblance of conscious self. You hand it over generously, like a toy you want to share, or you lay it at my feet as an offering for a domina you just can't say no to. And if you ever find yourself questioning the agreed-upon exchange, challenging the terms of surrender, resisting my desire to play with your mind, well, that's even better. Resistance play can be a wonderful part of power exchanges, because we're both playing here, after all. You're toying with the idea of resistance, just as I'm toying with your thoughts. But in that fantasy of resisting me, I imagine you're playing it straight, playing it serious, feeling a bit like your will, standoffish and standing up to mine. I find that a very cute and adorable sight. Like the stalwart, standing tall hero, as strong and as powerful as you believe you are, a proud symbol of physical and mental fortitude. And now, your hero self is facing off against a new nemesis, the confident, wicked villainess named ShadowTheory. A hypnotic villainess, of course, smart, manipulative, controlling in ways you cannot comprehend. You know little about me except my name, an intriguing name that whispers all sorts of theoretical possibilities hiding in the delicious, dark shadows of your intrigued mind. And now that you stand before me, you find a palpable aura of mystery surrounding me, like the velvet cloak of regal purple covering my form. Looking directly at me, you can see my beautiful face framed by long, luscious curls. Even if I'm shorter in cute black flats, I stand tall, just as tall and poised myself. My small smile and twinkling eyes both telling you, I know something you don't know. You talk a good game, like all resistant toys do. You can't be hypnotized. You know your own mind, and I can't affect you. You're unwilling to give up your will. All valiant words, but used to convince yourself more than me. My response to this supposedly strong sense of self? I simply raise my outstretched hand between us and snap my fingers. The crisp, isolated sound resonates around you, through you. You don't know what it means, though. Is it a magic spell that has left your attention spellbound? Is it an unspoken bit of silence that has left you silent? Is it the beginning of my turn to speak, and the beginning of your end? My lips curl into a larger smile before I speak for the first time to your heroic recollection and ask, do you know what you don't know? Do you know what you don't know? That posed question, a riddle teasing your thoughts, echoing as my voice surrounds your mind. You can't help but ask yourself that, and find yourself lost on forming any kind of answer. Noticing your confusion, I take a step forward and snap my fingers again. Do you know what strength is? I ask you about strength as echoes of the first question still linger, your mind subtly forming the words. You don't know strength. The deciphered words spoken in the sound of my voice make so much sense to your body as your posture begins to relax, relieving tension in muscles, letting shoulders slump gently and facial muscles slacken. And nothing seems stronger than the effect my voice has over you, as the sound of my voice washes over you. Like a touch of velvet from my cloak, my voice glides over your sensitive skin, caressing it, making you oh so helpless to listen. Not at all disturbed by your lack of a verbal answer, I take another step forward. Do you know what standing is? Questions still linger in your head, speaking in my voice, shifting amongst themselves. More words concretely form. You don't know standing. Ironic forces that make your new thoughts solid, make your lazy legs wobbly, unsure of the ability to stay upright, slowly losing control of the ability to remain upright. Gentle whispers and helpful outstretched hands help you to your knees, where you feel much more comfortable, where you feel you belong, and where we were once the same height in spirit. Your kneeling spirit looks up at me, in awe of the beautiful hypnotist above you, a happier shadow of your former self, overshadowed by my presence, by my power. And yet another step forward, towering over you, snapping next to your ear. Do you know what power is? Do you know what power is? Your soft, unmoving lips try to mutter something, but I press a finger to yours, silencing you, because I know what you're trying to say. You know power. You know power. The words echo in your mind, surer than anything else, continuing to look up at me in wonder and lust in my control. You know power, my toy, I tell you sweetly, stroking your head gently. You know my power. And the words, yes, Domina, can't help but slip from your lips. Yes, Domina. From your truest, submissive self, you know my power. The power you give me. The power you surrender to me. The power you can't deny me if I really want it. It's such a simple thing to take. I barely need to ask for it. But you love when I do take it. With every snap that ceases all thoughts as you wait to hear the sound of my voice. Waiting for the opportunity to listen, to go deeper, to drop into a wonderful trance, to drop into being the lovely hypnotized toy I want to play with and want you to be, as you wait for my voice to command. Drop for me. Drop for me. That's it. Let go for me. Let go for the woman with power. Drop for me. Drop for me. Let go for the woman in power that has taken yours and given you wonderful, blissful, hypnotic submission in return. Drop for me. Drop for me. It feels so good to let me have all the power, do all the thinking, and leave you kneeling at my feet. Because when Domina wants to play, her toys may only obey. That sounds so fun to say. Why don't you repeat that with every time I tell you to drop for me? Drop for me. Say, when Domina wants to play, her toys may only obey. And drop for me. And again, drop for me. And again, drop for me. And again, drop for me. If you say it, that makes you my toy. Drop for me. If you say it, that makes you my willing toy. Drop for me. Wants to play. If you say it, that makes you my obedient toy. Drop for me. Wants to play. If you say it, that means I have all the power. Drop for me. Wants to play. If you say it, that means you belong to me. Drop for me. Wants to play. If you say it, that means obedience is pleasure. Drop for me. Wants to play. If you say it, that means obeying me gives you so much pleasure. Drop for me. And as the sexy, hypnotic, victorious villainess looms over her happily hypnotized hero, her new obedient toy, you can feel how ready you are to obey, to be posed and played with. And if I want my toy to prostrate themselves at my feet, then it won't be long before your body sinks even lower to the ground, so close to my feet. That's it. Good toy. That's it. Good. Let the pleasure of my praise wash over you as you begin to notice how pretty, how beautiful, how magnetic my feet are to your eyes that find them fascinating, and to your lips that wonder how wonderful it would be to place submissive kisses on them. And part of your mind can toy with the idea that you're not in defeat, or you don't feel like obeying. That's a fun game, but not as fun as when you drop for me. When Domino wants to play, her toys may only obey. That's so right, my good toy. When Domino wants to play, her toys may only obey. So you can't even fathom anything else but leaning in closer, touching the warm skin of my feet, and placing small, numerous kisses all over my feet and shoes. Such a good toy. Your worship, your obedience feels so good, toy. Maybe as much as the deep pleasure of obedience surging through you, informing you of your love of worshiping my feet, if you didn't know, enhancing the love for my feet, if you already did. All because I simply command it. I command it, and my toy poses itself to my satisfaction, performing the task it was meant to, loving to be an actively played with toy, instantly posable in infinite ways. If I wanted you to stand tall all of a sudden, with that stereotypical hands on your hips look diagonally at the sky, you would, at the snap of my fingers. Good toy. You look so brave, so bold, so ready to do good things. And while you were in this pose, you can recite good words for me. Because if I say trigger you in that way I know you love, you stand as firm as you are, only sinking within, while you recite your special mantra. Because when I say drop for me, what do you say? The toys may only obey. Exactly, my good toy. When Domina wants to play, her toys may only obey. Such a righteous saying for a righteous toy. And the next time I snap my fingers, my poseable toy may curl himself into a comfortable ball on the ground, head to the ground, back upwards and flat, and aware but silent as I use you as my footstool. That feels so nice, doesn't it, toy? To give your Domina's feet relief, to feel your Domina resting herself upon you, to feel and support my presence and whims. And while you're down there, I'm sure your silly, conscious self has so many protests to say to me. But funny enough, the only words that come out of your mouth are when you drop for me. Domina wants to play. Her toys may only obey. I expected such resistance to leave those lips. I was just playing, but it seems like you were just obeying. Drop for me. Domina wants to play. Her toys may only obey. Oh my, you are just the perfect little toy, aren't you? Drop for me. Domina wants to play. Her toys may just as I thought. Perfect. And the good, sharing Domina that I am, I think I deserve more than one toy, don't you? Think of all the superheroes you know, flying around thinking they know all and what's best, until they may find out they don't know what they know. That the life of a toy is so much more fulfilling. Imagine the pleasure toy of helping me capture more Poseable Toys. My own little cult of followers, listening intently as I preach the gospel of drop for me. When Domino wants and they preach the appropriate gospel of that's right. A nice little shadow collective under my control, giving me all the power and pleasure, giving you all more pleasure than you could ever imagine. I wonder if the world will ever know that its greatest heroes make up my shadow collective, making me the most powerful. I'm sure you all won't mind as I become your entire world, because a simplified existence is much healthier. If you need a good tenet for being a hero, just drop for me. When Domino wants to play, the words will come to you. Toys may only obey. Allow that mantra to repeat in your mind. Let it continue to brainwash you to my design, and feel my giddiness as I rise off of my footstool and bid you to follow me. Now feeling light as a feather, but tethered and leashed to me. Following behind me. The only thing clear to you now is your path, your domina, and what happens when you drop for me. When Domina wants to play, her toys may only obey. Good toy. And as you follow my voice, follow it back to consciousness as I talk to you. Follow it back up slowly, enjoying the feeling of trance beginning to slowly leave you, anticipating when you can feel it again, anticipating the next time you'd like to indulge in some power exchange with me again. Still coming up slowly, able to breathe and be aware, enjoying what you've heard, and energized for what lies ahead after your trance when you awaken, when you are wide awake, wide awake, wide awake now for me. Isn't it fun when you think you have a choice? If you enjoyed this file, you can find more like it at ShadowTheoryHypnosis.com.